On Tyler.
I am excited. This is Tyler's Android journey, and what we're working on last time was the file structure. Do you remember that?
That's right. Yeah.
And it was for the Donkey Levels app. But now we're talking about how to make the file structure more efficient, how to take it from basic notes, this is kind of like basic notes, to actual working file structure for a company called Stimtrano Productions.
Stimtrano Productions. What's that?
Well, that's the company that you and I just made, Jeffrey.
Oh, snap. It's like that. All right, man.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's kind of dig in, deep dive. What
Sure.
do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. So when I first started taking the ideas of saving stats for Donkey Levels, I was like, okay, I know I need to have DAT files. I want to save it, but there's just so much handwritten stuff. I eventually wanted to make a Word document, and so as you can see, it's kind of like rough. I'm like, okay, we're going to have a user count because we want to add more users. We're going to have like and kind of strings in order to save data, which I could parse later. But it was really rough at first, and eventually, after going through the code, working out some kinks, I turned it into an Excel document. And that's kind of one of the main things I want to talk about is it's okay to start with a really rough beginning. As long as it does even a fraction of what you want correctly every time, now you have what's called an underpinning. It's something that you can count on logically to use over and over again. And as you get more and more underpinnings, you eventually can create a logic system for your file system, or really anything in life. And so this is what became the underpinning for the system that we're using now for Donkey Levels. And as you could scroll down here, at first it started with, okay, we're going to have separate files for all these different things. And over time, what I came up with was a having a maximum XP file, and that would save all the experience, and then have functions work with that raw data into efficient packets, which would kind of in a way save file space on your tablet or your Android phone. It's just going to straight up save you space. And then also, it's going to save processing power and coding time for me. So, as you scroll down here, we have the stats for the running, cycling, exercise machines, yoga, things that we think would be a good idea for physical workout. And now, when you move over to the Java, you'll see I have a text view for the swimming, a text view for the running. You know, I got some basic strings for working with the stuff, even some progress bars, and the XML primer looks like this. So I can kind of see what I'm doing in XML to get a kind of feel for it. One important thing I want to show you guys is preview all screens. I don't know how well you can see it, but next to the little tablet button, you go preview all screens, and it'll give you ideas about what everybody looks like on their tablet or Android phone.
Got it.
If you run out of space, which I notice, I'm like, oh wait, Jeffrey is going to run out of space for his Android phone. So then that made me want to go into the XML and add a scroll view. And going back to the Java real quick, this is the part that I'm most proud about so far with the app.
Let's see it.
Is the okay, we got the refresh function, which just refreshes all the stats. And then you'll see down here the buttons. This is my favorite part here. When I first started it out, I created an if and else statement where it would check the file name of the appropriate stat file, and then it would initialize data, and then it would also set a text view for the appropriate data. So it would say, okay, set the level to this, set the XP text view to this, set the progress bar to this. But as I created the refresh all physical stats function, that doesn't need, the refresh all physical stats doesn't need to be a dynamic function. It just needs to do the work. So the refresh all physical stats, it just says, hey, this is what's happening. I want this to look perfect every time. And then so what that did, I was able to comment out the this whole part of setting the text views every single time that's not part of it anymore. And then what happened was, I'm like, well, if I commented it out there, I could comment it out here, because that's no longer necessary, because I was doing the same thing. And that's an important thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, is if you see in your code the same thing happening over and over again in a function, then think of it like an enzyme in biology. It's not really a machine that needs electricity to do work. It's shapes working upon other shapes over and over again. Enzymes in biology work kind of like locks and keys. They find the correct shape and they do the correct function upon whatever they're working on. And it's the same thing with this. It was like, you know, with just a little bit of shaving down, I can turn this into a function. And then so the refresh all physical stats function made it so I was able to omit that, completely comment it out, and then delete it. But in the next, you know, few minutes, what I realized was, wait a minute, this whole thing here, where it's the if-else statement, can be narrowed down into here we go, bam. That whole thing can be narrowed down into a function. Look at that. You got your stat name, and then you're incrementing it. And if you scroll down here, bam, that if-else statement was turned into a function where the string, we know we're going to be dealing with a string, and it's literally doing the same thing every time with whatever that variable is. So even though this isn't a string, it's a variable of whatever string you tell it to be. All it's saying is it takes a string here. So this is just a string. And then so doing that over and over again makes it so the app works.
Well, that sounds pretty crazy. You mind if I get to take a look at it?
Alright, I'm gonna load it up. Sorry that you have to be called Salami. We're gonna do the code next time. Here, let me show you so I can show you.
Right on.
There he is.
Hey guys, how's
He
it
is the
going?
Mr. Stims to the Stimtrano Productions. Alright, there we go. There's the app.
Wow, look at that.
Let me zoom in there.
Damn. Alright, let's level up some physical stats. Ooh, damn, you're level 81 and running.
Not in real life, but just in this beta test.
Sweet. So let's see what happens. Oh, okay. So yeah, awesome. The bars move up. Oh, I'm level 2 in cycling, even though I'm not really. Oh, sweet. That's pretty cool. So let's...
Click on running again. I want to show why that's not moving up.
It's because it's so high level, right? I'm assuming it's...
Actually, the reason why that one's not moving up is because if you look in the code...
Is the cap level 81?
Nope. The reason why running's not moving up is because I commented out for that one the code, but I didn't add the temporary function. I forgot to add that part.
Oh, okay.
So I need to put that in.
Hey,
yeah,
not a problem.
That's why this is a
beta test.
That's right.
That's why.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then check the scrolling out. Can you scroll that out for the viewers?
Yeah. So. Oh, whoops. Sorry. My mistake.
It's upside down.
Here it is.
Because I like doing it upside down because I like doing it upside down because then I can plug in the charger without the charger coming in through the tail.
Got it.
That's why I use my tablet upside down. All right. You like the scrolling view, huh?
It's awesome.
So So overall, I mean, how do you like it so far? Like, would you kind of use something like this?
Definitely, definitely. I can't wait to see it as you keep improving on this. I'm looking forward to installing it on my phone and starting up the leveling up process.
So, I mean, honestly, when you started with when you came to me with the idea of Donkey Levels and you said you wanted to be executive producer of the project, what was kind of going through your mind?
Well, I was thinking about taking the idea that I had and I was really excited about being able to implement it because I have no programming expertise as of yet, and Tyler, and since you're working on programming, I figured it would be a pretty good project for you to kind of get your feet wet and implement all the stuff that you learned, and also bring into bring into your collection of what you need to draw upon to make a finished product. So I'm really impressed, and like I said, I think this thing looks pretty good. It looks pretty solid from where we started with nothing
Uh-huh.
and just concepts to something actually working and something that moves. And I cannot wait to see what this turns out to be. This is gonna be awesome.
Do you got any shout outs to any homies that you might think might be watching?
Fuzzy guy named Ursa.
Ursa!
Ursa. Right on, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.